Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are finally back and we are going to be completing what we can for putting this transmission back together. Now this has been really long and awaited, and I've stretched this out through a couple videos, but this is going to be the one where we are going to assemble everything and get it back to hopefully a proper and working transmission. So what we have here on the bench is I have all the parts laid out that are going to be going back together today for us to complete this transmission install for what we can right now. A couple of things that I did do off camera. As you can see, we do have a bell housing brace installed here. This is a brace from none other than Revenge Performance, who I've been referencing. I got this from them. I did not have them weld this on. I actually took this to somebody else to get welded on. This is aluminum, so I don't weld aluminum, but it turned out absolutely beautiful. And we got this bearing piece back in here as well. The other thing is, you probably just saw me on camera too as well. I did end up getting a sandblaster. I've talked about it and I've wanted one for a little bit now. You just saw me clean up a couple of these casings. I did put all the casings in the sandblaster, and we hit these with some bead blast, and they turned out much better and cleaner than they were. Still not perfect, and it did take a while. I spent a very long time cleaning these out with water, compressed air, and pretty much anything I can to get these as clean as possible. That bead blast material gets over absolutely everything and makes a mess. So anywhere you don't want to get it, I wouldn't even put your part in the actual sandblaster and hit it with bead blast, because you're gonna get it in there. One of the last things that I mentioned in the previous video is I installed that new reverse gear from Revenge Performance, and I mentioned that you needed to send out your idler gear in the bottom of your end casing. So this is the end casing right here, and reverse sits right down here. I can't remember exactly. I think reverse sits right over here, but the idler gear looks like this right here, and this was the piece that I needed to get shipped out. So this just sits right here in this little small bearing, and there's this piece right here that goes on top. So that's it. You can ship this idler gear out to Revenge. They take off 1 millimeter from the outside diameter all the way around, and you can see this is nice and machined out here. This is the mod that needs to happen in order for that reverse gear to work from them. Now I'm gonna assemble all this stuff here, and it's going to temporarily be put together. Just reason being is because it's too cold outside for RTV sealant to seal up and cure properly. So that's why we're not going to be sealing this, but I am going to put it together and make sure that we can actually go through the gears with the shifter selector. So we are going to do that. I just threw in the old axle seals and all the seals on the transmissions. I have new ones, but we just put in the old ones just for temporary reasons here. That should pretty much cover everything for the most part. I'm not going to do a detailed instruction video, but we're just going to do like a cool ASMR video of an assembly for the 6-speed VR4 transmission, because I freaking love these ASMR videos for people putting stuff together and building stuff. It sounds awesome, it looks awesome, so that's how we're going to do this. That's enough talking. Let's get right into this. check out that beautiful rebuilt transmission that we just finally completed and fully assembled. Everything went together pretty decently. I can't really complain. As far as the shifting, you just saw me throw it into gear or try out a couple of the gears. It is a little bit hard right now, but this should break in with time, especially when the fluid kind of gets worked through everything. The fact that we're able to shift it into gears right now, it's a pretty good sign. So I like where this is going. Our shafts over here, these are able to spin. This one needs to break in a little bit, but I can get this to spin here. And you guys did also see I did cut off the counterweight. That's what the piece there is called. It's just this big weighted piece that it doesn't really do much. A lot of people do delete these on their cars. A lot of times these just kind of get in the way for your shifter cables and hit into your intercooler pipes and cause more issues than actually having any good effects for your car. So they don't really do much aside from get in the way. And I've deleted it on my other car, so we should have no problems or issues running this one with a deleted counter shaft on this car here as well. Other than that, we are all back together, and this pretty much completes the assembly and the install. Like I said, we are going to need to reseal this transmission up, which just means we got to pull the cases apart, throw some RTV on them when it gets a little bit nicer and warmer out, and then this will be set and ready to go. And we'll also replace the seals. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'm going to be putting out some other stuff now that we finally have this transmission completed and finished, and we're going to start moving on to some other new exciting things. Stay tuned.